there will be absolutely no rules on this show. I've never had a problem expressing my opinions.
You are now watching the Behind the Boards show. New episode every week. Featuring Nick, Taylor, and Tyler.
And we're not going to fabricate ourselves in hopes to please everybody. But make no mistake, we are not here to make enemies, but to make conversation.
The Behind the Boards show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. Today might be a little bit of a long one. Looks like there's been quite a few things that has happened since last episode, so I'm expecting this episode to either be longer or just as long as the previous episode. As per the usual, I'm here with my co-host Taylor. Taylor, say hello.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Tyler, say hello.
Howdy.
So, before we get into everything crazy, I need to bring this up again. More Mack Jones. This guy is so good at football. He's so good at football, dude. He feels like a vet, which is absolutely insane. There's a lot of things about him. He's definitely a get-it-done kind of guy, and the worst thing I think that you can call a quarterback, and it might not even really be a bad thing inside the sport, but maybe outside of the sport, people probably don't like being called it, which is a game manager. And Tom Brady was also one of those where he kind of controls the game. He's not running the ball, he's not making long drives, he's just kind of forcing the offense to play against the defense in a way that he wants to. And I watched some highlights of Mack Jones, and it's crazy how good he is. Like, how the fuck is this guy this good? And my question is it him? Or is it like Bill Belichick? I mean, the plays and decisions this guy is making in a second is crazy good. I don't think anybody in his draft class will be at his level. And that's, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance. But Trey Lance, we haven't really seen much of him. Jimmy G is absolutely on fire for the 49ers, so we're probably not going to be seeing him. Trey Lance, I mean, they fucking had him they had Mack Jones doing off-balance throws, and I'm sure Bill Belichick was probably like, why are we doing this? Just fucking protect him. He's being compared to Tom Brady a lot, which is absolutely kind of crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy wins 8 Super Bowls instead of 7. At this point, Zach Wilson.
Yo,
like
that
I said,
is a take. That is
it is a take. It is absolutely a take. Zach Wilson. There's no chance. He got a good win with the Giants a little bit ago, but he also threw the worst interception of the entire season, and maybe throughout the entire NFL. But who really knows? The thing with Mack Jones, though, is that he is on that rookie deal, which opens up a lot of possibility for more players. We're gonna end up seeing something. We're gonna end up seeing something happen, and maybe just like Tom Brady, he's probably gonna end up taking play cuts. And here's the thing, and like the last thing I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say two more things about Mack Jones. The one thing with Mack Jones is he is in a very good position right now, being taught by a coach that is absolutely outstanding. And the other thing people are forgetting, that the reason Mack Jones is so good at reading defensive lines, because he was running scout teams for 3 or 4 years in Alabama. Nick Saban, and if you don't know Nick Saban, he favors the shit out of his DBs. So for 3 or 4 years, Mack Jones was being set up for failure, because anyone, like I said, that knows Nick Saban, head coach of the Alabama team, of the Alabama football team, knows, like I said, that he favors his DBs. Like, when you're running scout, you're trying to set up Mac specifically for bad throws, incompletes, or, trying to get picks. When he got picked, he leaned into Goodell. Okay? He leaned into Goodell and said, "This is where I want to go." When he got put in that second quarter, in that preseason game, they looked over to Cam and said, "I wonder how this makes Cam feel." And let me tell you, no one gave a fuck. No one gave a single fuck. Okay? So give me 1 second here. We're gonna talk about the Browns. And I touched on this very little last episode, by saying I didn't really want to talk about it, because honestly, it's just fucking pointless at this point. That game against the Baltimore Ravens was horrible. Not because it was a low scoring game. I love classic football, but because that team is so unorganized, and they look like a mess. They looked terrible. Fumbles on almost every kick, balls slipping through hands. It's hot in the kitchen in the AFC North, and seems to only be getting hotter. And conversation of Baker Mayfield seems to be only taking bigger strides, but congrats to Lamar Jackson and Justin Tucker of the rest of the Ravens securing that win on the other side. Baker must be hurt: toe, ankle, shoulder, elbow, a knee, and so much drama, so his brain must be going wild too. So who knows? And Kareem Hunt Sr., aka KHS, he's even, chiming in now. Weird that it's after OBJ's dad. And Baker seems to be the obvious issue. He seems to be the obvious issue on that team. Too many things keep coming out about Baker for him to not be the issue. Clearly allergic to his receivers. What do you do if you're the GM? What do you do? Because everything right now is centering around Baker Mayfield. He seems to be the underlying issue. And I want to know fully until the end. I mean, I want to let the rest of the season play out before I really dive into this. I need to see him play this final season. I have my thoughts. And I'm sure people probably know what I'm thinking. I expect him to be traded. But what team? I don't know. I need to wait. I don't want to make too many assumptions and then backtrack later on.
Is this his last season on this current deal? Or does he
I
still have
believe
more?
so. I believe this is his last season on his deal. And that's the whole. I mean, that's the leading question right now. Like, is he a $10 million quarterback? Like, is he going to get that $10 million a year? That's kind of the key question here. I don't think he learned enough. I don't think that he understands that it's a team effort, and I don't think that he's going to succeed inside the Cleveland Browns organization. Another team that's on the drought right now is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They stink right now. Mike Tomlin, head coach, has never had a losing season for almost a decade and a half, which honestly is insane. But right now, the Steelers are on some are it's like they're cursed almost. It feels like for this season, they're just bad all across the board. The game is changing so fast, almost every year practically, and the fact Mike Tomlin has kept it up for this long is actually pretty impressive. Dealing with the changes, the changes, injuries, roster changes, but it looks like it's coming to an end. Will they fire him if he loses this season? If you are unaware, the fans of the Steelers and the history of the team are deeply rooted together. Fans of the Steelers have said at least once, get Tomlin out of here. And you know what? You motherfuckers are the luckiest fan base next to the Patriots of all time. Some fans have recognized that. They were like, yeah, you know what? We could be the Browns. We could be the Lions. But make no mistake, Mike Tomlin's legacy is now cemented in the Steelers forever. People 10 years from now who love the Steelers will no doubtedly, be asking for another Mike Tomlin or talking about his success. But this season, when the Steelers lose, the fans are most definitely going to erupt. I'm actually curious, though, because will the fans actually call for him to be fired? Will they actually just forget about his previous seasons? I mean, Chase Claypool, a Canadian wide receiver for the Steelers, came out saying maybe have music playing during practice. But the problem is, well, first, I love that idea of music playing. But when you're losing, everything comes to the limelight and becomes bigger than it should be. But Tomlin was asked at the end of his previous presser about it, where he said, and I quote, Claypool plays wide out, and I'll let him do that. I'll formulate the practice and approach that division of labor. I'll practice. Jesus Christ, I can't speak today. I'll formulate the practice, and that division of labor is probably appropriate, which is probably the most dad response I've ever heard out of a coach. Felt like he said, I'm the dad. If you don't take the trash out, you're grounded. That's pretty much exactly what he said, I think. But there is still a few more games of the season, so who knows what's going to happen at this point. Another team that is on the down low, and this seems to be a reoccurring theme that I want to talk about, is Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks are not looking good. Do they stink? And that's no offense to the Washington football team either. I mean, the Washington football team seem to really be succeeding this season. I feel like it's been more than once where I'm saying no offense to the Washington football team. Maybe they are just an absolute dumpster fire of a team this year. Maybe the Washington football team is a contender, but no one thought the Seahawks were going to be this bad. How could anyone predict they would have been this bad?
What is it?
I mean,
4-8? Yeah, 4-8 so far this season. I mean, they won their game against the 49ers this week.
Exactly. But... Yeah. I mean, going back to the Washington game, because that was the worst one. I mean, they barely got by on the previous game that just passed. But I mean, the Washington football team stadium, FedEx Field, was literally leaking poo water in the suite. For Christ's sake, if that's not a sign for a loss, I don't know what is. And the FedEx Field is the shittiest field out of all 32 teams. Like, again, the Washington football team played great. Heineke looks great. The Seahawks, I don't know. But they have now, the Seahawks have now gained 8 losses for the first time since Russell Wilson joined in 2012. Washington had
Wow.
possession for 45 minutes, which felt like 145 minutes. Washington had possession for 45 minutes. Just let that sink in. While the Seahawks had it for 18, there is definitely going to be a new team next year, that's for sure. Like, what I'm thinking, though, is since I guess I'm expecting him to be traded, he's the franchise. So will the owner get involved? Because just like with the Steelers, when you're losing, everything comes to the forefront. The question here is, though, is Russell still worth 2 first-round picks? Is he still worth 2 first-round picks? Probably. Probably, but are teams willing to pay him to play for that price? Carolina paid Cam Newton $10 million for the rest of the season. I mean, the Saints, Sean Payton, they showed Sean's face right beside Russell's on the screen, and we're gonna get to the Saints here in a little bit. When the commentators were having this very conversation about Russell Wilson's agent saying they have cities in mind. The Bears have what's his name? Justin Fields. But the Broncos are a possibility. Miami, now that I'm thinking about this, might be a very good spot for him also. But again, maybe something will spark back up. Maybe something will happen. Maybe he'll get another chance. Who really knows? Now, very quickly on the Saints. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Taysom Hill, I don't know what is going on, but it seems like he's not the QB for the Saints. They played Trevor Siemian over Taysom, but I mean, Peyton Manning came out and said all the right things about him. So I'm just confused because Sean Payton, who is actually a pretty much an offensive genius, which by the way, like almost every single record Drew Brees has, Sean has to be attributed to. I mean, because back then the offense was absolutely crazy, but right now, I don't know. I feel like everything is just going downhill. I mean, you got RB1, RB2 out, left tackle 1 out, right tackle 1 out, wide receiver 1 out, fucking QB 1 out. I mean, everyone's out on the offense. I mean, Taysom jumped over a guy. Can you not make an offensive quarterback around that? He ran for 100 yards. I feel like I'm giving a lot. I feel like I'm giving a lot of credit to Taysom Hill, but he did throw 5 picks. I don't want to give him too much of a leash. Like, yeah, sure, 5 picks is bad, but Simeon also isn't running for 100 yards either. It feels like Taysom has to run the ball 30 times and have possession for 42 minutes to please Sean Payton. And when Kamara comes back, they probably want him to throw the ball to him. They probably just want him to throw the ball. Look, just become a running offense with Taysom Hill and Kamara and maybe a little screen game, a little screen action. They could succeed. I'm not saying I'm smarter than Sean Payton. Obviously, I'm not. It's just odd, the decisions being made, especially with how good that defense is. I mean, there was one drive where Taysom ran it for 5 consecutive plays and looked great, but then he'd throw 3 consecutive incompletes and then be forced to punt. It was weird and crazy and confusing. For Sean Payton, it must be also weird because he probably knows how good the offense could be. Maybe he doesn't want to be associated with a Russian quarterback because he's old school. it's again, it's just weird because the defense could literally win games. That's how good this defense is. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe Peyton, or maybe Sean Payton, sorry, sees something I don't. I am not too sure. I do want to say though, Jonathan Taylor uh, makes history for the Colts, winning back-to-back Player of the Month. That would be for November and October. He's an absurd football player, a crazy stud. Also, first player to win twice for the Colts, and also this guy gets it back-to-back months. Think about that. The Colts' previous players, Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, Ed Sheeran James, fucking Reggie Wayne, the list Dallas Clark, the list goes on and on for offensive weapons. Absolutely crazy. So congrats to Jonathan Taylor. Maybe you're gonna get it 3 times in a row. That would actually be, absolutely be insane. I want to quickly touch on this. LSU head coach fakes an accent after one day of being a coach at LSU.
I saw this. What are you doing?
It is the funniest thing I think I've seen ever. This guy is not from Louisiana. All of a sudden, he's talking to the crowd. It sounds like me when I start copying people from this. Hey, we're gonna win the games. We're gonna get out there and we're gonna do it. It is absolutely hilarious. I just wanted to touch on that because I think it's kind of funny. Nothing really crazy to say. I mean, hey, if he's trying to dive right in, if Brian Kelly is that committed, fuck, you probably have a great head coach, if I'm being totally honest. I know it's funny, but I don't think many coaches would be willing to fake an accent to show that they're committed to the team. 2 more pieces here that I would like to get into before we start talking about other sports. The first being Antonio Brown. If you don't know him, he's a wide receiver on the Buccaneers. Played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Great guy, this guy is. He's fantastic. He's a very good guy.
Do you think he remembers playing for the Steelers, or is it just like
probably not
deleted from his memory?
But a little while ago and a couple episodes ago at the same time, and it came out a little couple ago. So that was not the word I wanted to say or the sentence I wanted to say. But he ended up getting suspended for 3 games for the topic we talked about a little while ago about him falsifying his vaccination card. And like I also said a couple episodes ago, it got revealed by the live-in chef. A few other players were also suspended. But now the chef is suing Antonio Brown to get this remaining $10,000 that is owed. Hot take here. I've said this before privately. Antonio Brown needs to be kicked out of the league. I assume Tom Brady is going to send him packing after this season because of all the drama. At this point, I'm very positive that this guy, Antonio Brown, is the Evander Kane of the NFL. Different drama, but constantly in the news for the wrong reasons. You catch balls for a living? Why are you full of this much drama? Kids look up to you, man. You're catching balls, you're making tons of millions of dollars. Just play the fucking game. Is it that hard? I don't want to be too political here, but you're in the best position you could possibly be. You have one of the biggest dream jobs that you could ever be, a professional athlete. Why are you constantly, you know how simple it probably is? There's a player in the NHL that is just refusing to get it. If you didn't want to get it that bad, don't get it. But I'm glad you're suspended. It's one thing to lie about it, but I don't know. I think it's a whole.
Don't they have like a rule similar to the NHL where like, yeah, sure, if you will respect your decision, but you just have to follow these specific different rules if you're not going to get the vaccine?
I think also, yeah. So I think it's kind of the same thing. I think, but you also if you don't get vaccinated, I think you have to be tested 3 times a week or something like that. So that's also not that bad.
Exactly.
I'd rather be making the $7 million, $8 million, and be tested 3 times a week. I don't care. I mean, I don't mind getting vaccinated either, but that's a whole other different conversation, and I'm not diving into that. Because also, one, I don't give a shit. I also, two, don't give a shit about anyone's opinion on it, and for three, I don't want to hear about it. The last thing, and this seems to be again something that we've been talking about for the past 3 episodes, but the Detroit Lions are now the best in the NFL at scoring less than consecutively in 10 games. Must be tough. Must be a tough walk into that building, in and out every day. Defense has been playing all right, I guess, since they keep getting close.
Hey, they won.
Yeah.
They
and we're
won
gonna
this
get into
weekend.
that. We're going to get into that. These guys fucking suck, though. I don't think firing him, and by him, sorry, I mean Dan Campbell, is a good idea. Despite the bad season, I do think he needs to be there to build, what's it called? To build a culture. Because I think a new culture has to be, made. But can he? Can Dan Campbell, head coach of the Detroit Lions, aka Motor City Dan Campbell, aka MCDC, can he build a new culture? I say let MCDC stay and have a little bit more say in the draft. Because what else can he do? Put the pads back on, maybe? If you don't know, he previously played football and he played for the Detroit Lions. Maybe fire Anthony Lynn, which is the offensive coordinator. But what I do know, MCDC needs to fire some people. Can he, though? He seems to be too nice of a guy. Time for Dan Campbell, it seems like, to put down the helmet and pick up the whistle. Because, I mean, and as for Jared Goff, man, this guy barely wants to throw 5 yards down the field. But Detroit took his contract. Guaranteed $20 million next year. Guaranteed $20 million next year. This is the worst. I've said this before. He is the worst quarterback in the NFL. I don't know how this guy is on this team. I don't know how he's in the NFL. Out of all the people, how is this guy here? He is so bad. It's tough to win a game, let alone also attempting 66-yard field goals. Guys, they really do have no hope. They have no hope. Like, no free agents are going to want to sign there. No one with a trade clause is going to take a phone call and then put it down and be like, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. I want to go to the Detroit Lions. They either need to draft like really, really, really well and hit on everybody, which is impossible because of so many reasons. One, there could be players that are only good at college ball. Two, there could be people that I don't know how to play in the NFL in that kind of limelight. And two, some people need to be developed. And again, this is why they have no hope. Because if you don't hit on the players right away, to the players that, okay, this guy, like if Dan Campbell sees people, okay, this guy has a lot of potential, but I just need to work on him a little bit. I need to get him moving his feet more. I needed him doing probably all the stuff Mack Jones knows already. You know, that's what they need. They need to be able to draft a Mack Jones, but they also need to be able to draft an entire offensive line. And again, it's impossible because if you don't hit on them right away, and it takes a couple of years for them to develop, the next coach is going to have a whole bunch of different things, a whole bunch of things that he wants to do, and it's just going to be an issue that is just a bad circle. And here's the other thing too. On the other end, MCDC probably deserves to be let go. I cannot see him broken. If you don't know this guy, look up some videos. He's a very emotional kind of person. He's very dedicated to football. He loves the sport of football, and he also loves the Detroit Lions. But I cannot see him broken, man. He seems too nice of a guy to be going through this. I mean, he's fucking aging like a politician, for Christ's sake, since he's joined the Detroit Lions. And, you know, like Mike Tomlin said, this league ages you like dog years. I mean, if that doesn't say enough, I don't know what does. But, like Tyler said, the Vikings and the Detroit Lions faced off. The Vikings had it. It was there. It was all the way there.
Detroit did to the Vikings what was done to them the week prior.
Yep.
4 seconds left.
Yep.
Touchdown.
And it was right there until the last second on the clock.
Could this be the beginning of something great?
Maybe.
Or is it just something that just happened?
But let me say, on behalf of everyone here behind the boards, and by everyone here I mean us three, we're really incredibly happy for the Detroit Lions and the people there, who sat through so much shit. The Calvin Johnson curse, and they felt it every cold winter when there was zero thought that the team would be playing extra football at the end of the season. It was like, hey, we're going fishing at the lake house, and it's already mid-September. You're talking season's over quick in Detroit. No hope for a long time. This year, new head coach. Everyone is excited. Dan Campbell, hey, man. You know, he's rejuvenating an entire franchise in the city. That's why I don't think he should be fired just yet. Everyone knew it was going to be a long road.
Well, I mean, this is his first year as head coach.
It is, yep.
So you don't get rid of a head coach halfway through or at the beginning of his first year.
If you're Detroit Lions,
you do.
They come in,
and
they go. They come in, they go.
I'm looking at it right now.
They go.
There's nobody over the past, at least 10 years that have lasted longer than 4 years.
Yeah, they come in and go. And then he came in. And like I said, it's been a long road. No, sorry. Yeah, I mean, everyone knew it was going to be a long road, and which it has. And on that back road, with no lights, probably, full of potholes and probably barely any concrete, that's what it's been like for the Detroit Lions. That's how it is. You know, you trade away Matthew Stafford now, who's playing really well on the LA Rams. Get the fuck out of town. He didn't want to be here. Understandable. We stunk. We will pick up this guy who's been to the Super Bowl. But no, we will build around this guy. There was no way Detroit Lions fans thought that they were going to see a win by Week 13 against Mike Zimmer's what was happening on defense Vikings. I think that's the best way to put it. The Lions have stunk, but yesterday and today are the Lions' day. By the way, I just realized this. This is their first win in 364 days. Almost a year.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I mean, that kind of concludes it off for the NFL stuff here. But kind of in the same way, I guess, a team that's, I guess you could easily compare, even though we're going from one sport to the next, from the Detroit Lions, is not the Toronto Maple Leafs.
What?
No. But the fucking Vancouver Canucks, who are in such turmoil, and hey, last episode I gave a hot take saying that this team will never win a Stanley Cup for the time that all three of us on here are going to be alive. There is no fucking shot. The team is so bad. Like, same thing with the Detroit Lions. When you look at the Vancouver Canucks, there is so much tied up in cap that you can't do anything. You physically cannot do anything. Jared Goff, quarterback of the Detroit Lions, has like a $30 million contract. How do you get out of that? Well, there's three ways. He either A, dies, B, decides to retire, or C, for some reason someone wants him, but no one is going to want him because he sucks. And who does that sound like? Well, Tyler said it last episode, OEL, okay? This team is so tied up, both of them, in cap, that there's just no reason for them to even exist. And also, too, another thing, quickly going on to the back on the Detroit Lions. People joked around. I want to say this. People joked around, hey, how about we move this fucking team out of Detroit? And then all of a sudden it became not a joke. Because it was like, hey, this is the NFL. What the fuck is going on here? But, I mean, who really knows what's happening? I mean, you're playing in, again, two of the biggest leagues. And this is one of the things I was talking about last episode. I don't understand how there are teams that are this bad, with this bad of decision making, because realistically, the only way for this, like, if the NHL had a bank, Vancouver would be so deeply in debt, and the only thing they would have to do is just claim bankruptcy, get rid of everyone, and start all over again, and maybe Nova Scotia, because that seems to be the only kind of hope. And I understand. Hey, listen, you know, but some bad choices were made. I mean, they brought in Benning for a 2-year rebuild that's taken 8 years. Now, here's the best part. He's gone now. Thank the Lord.
Vamos.
Yeah. Get out of here. Coach.
Like, we've been talking about this for, I know the show's been, like, short-lived, but I personally have been talking about this guy being gone for at least 4 years now.
Yeah. He should be gone. He should have been gone so far ago.
It's insane. Like, again, we talked last show about how Marc Bergevin was with the Canadiens for way too long. Way too long. And the writing was on the wall. You know, just like in Chamber of Secrets. But now, the writing was on the wall of Jim Benning's office. Travis Green's office. Not only did they get rid of Jim Benning,
they got rid of the assistant GM too, didn't they?
They got rid of Travis Green, who was their head coach, and their assistant GM, and the assistant coach as well. They cleaned house.
Yes, Taylor was right. They were doing a full front office cleanup. I don't think I've ever seen that in the NHL. Have you guys?
They did it when the Leafs did the rebuild. When the Leafs started their rebuild back in 2014 or 2015.
House like that? They fired everyone?
They got rid of everybody except for the head coach. They fired the head coach halfway into the next season, Randy Carlyle. But, yeah, I mean, Jim Benning should not have been there, as I was saying last episode, for as long as he was. This guy should never be handling a team at this point. If any team is looking for a GM, this guy should be at the bottom of the barrel. He stinks. He's only good at drafting. Like look at the people he's drafted. Look at the people he's drafted. Pedersen, Ep11, like all these decent players that are in the organization now. Obviously, he's drafted them, and he was an assistant GM in Boston prior.
My thing with Pedersen is he actually good? I mean, how long has it been?
This season, we have his doubts. We have doubts this season. Is it just because the team is in shambles?
I don't think so. I mean, yeah. I mean, it could be both. I just don't think. You know, I remember there was a while back where Gretzky was saying that this kid had the potential to be the next Gretzky. But you know what? there's someone like that in every single fucking draft class. I'm sick and tired of fucking hearing, oh, this the next Gretzky. You know what? How about you start saying the next Ovechkin, because there's gonna be no other fucking player that's gonna be like that ever again. Let's just be really fucking honest. Let alone Wayne fucking Gretzky. And as for their new head coach, which I think is what's his name, Bruce Boudreau or whatever.
Bruce Boudreau.
Yeah, like him either. I don't think he's a very good coach. I think he is one of those fucking people that is like, I don't want to say old school, because it doesn't sound like that's the kind of person. He sounds like, from what I have read about him from the past and him coaching other teams, is this guy is a my way or no way kind of guy. And I feel like he also didn't want to coach. It feels like he didn't want to coach, and then it was just like, okay, I'll just fucking take the job. I feel like his kind of attitude. I think, I want Taylor's take on this coach also, but I think every team, and again, this is what I was talking about earlier. Why would you not want to strive for success? I highly doubt he was the best option for this team. Now, did they pick him up because of money? I don't know. But I think every team should be striving to get a coach. And again, I talk about him a lot, but there's a reason. There should be two options for every team that the kind of coach that you want. And that's either Barry Trotz or John Cooper. And I'm sorry, you should want no other kind of coach. Barry Trotz is a very dedicated kind of coach where he puts all of his effort in, and he does not care if you are a star player or not. He's benched Ovechkin. He's the one who brought the Washington Capitals to where they are right now. Then John Cooper, longest standing coach in a franchise ever, and it's showing. You know, maybe that's because you need a GM like, you know, Yzerman or Brisebois or something like that. But at the end of the day, you should still be striving for that kind of coach. You should be striving for that kind of commitment to the team. This Bruce Boudreau guy, he's been on so many fucking teams, it doesn't even matter at this fucking point.
He's coached
and here's the
teams.
thing. I talked about the Washington Capitals. He was on the Washington Capitals, and he was a shitty fucking coach.
Yeah, from 2007 to 2012, he coached Washington. And
I'm pretty sure he got replaced.
Fired halfway through his tenure in his last season in Washington and picked up by Anaheim probably like 2 games later.
I'm pretty sure. Well, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure he was also replaced by Barry Trotz. That sounds like around the right time. Am I mistaken? I don't have the Washington Capitals right in front of me right now. But I'm pretty sure that's very close, because if you and I started hanging out around 2013, 14, I'm pretty sure that's when Barry Trotz joined.
Adam Oates replaced him until 2014-15, which is when Barry Trotz joined the team.
Okay, that makes more sense. But yeah, Taylor, what do you think of Bruce Boudreau? I mean, the moment I said he was a shitty coach, I mean, you immediately agreed with me by your facial expression there. I'm just kind of curious what your hot take is.
Yeah, he was in... Where did he start? In Anaheim?
Anaheim.
And then went to Washington?
No, Washington, and then he went to Anaheim.
Yeah, he was a Washington coach
so he
first.
started in Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. Like, it's just weird. I don't think him being, was that, like, the best option that they could have come with? Like,
That's what I'm seeing.
Doesn't seem like it's a good choice.
He signed for 2 years. It's not just he's taking over for this year. He's taking over for this season and next.
Let me tell you right now, he's going to be fired before his 2 years is up. He's a shitty coach. He is, and I'm sorry. Look what he did on the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah.
Well, he couldn't make it past Game 7.
Let me tell you right now, the Anaheim Ducks look fantastic right now. They look
absolutely
pretty good.
Unreal.
Sick.
And he would have never been able to get that kind of success in Anaheim. There's no way him coaching the way he does would have brought Anaheim the kind of success. Like I said, it feels like he didn't even want the coaching job in the first place, and they were like, hey, why don't you coach? And he was like, all right, sure, fine. Blah, 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 and just sort of giving out random stupid orders. Like, that's how it feels. Like, I don't feel like he's a dedicated person in leading a team like that. I feel like maybe he wanted to be a player, and
well, he did
maybe
play.
He just really sucked. Let me tell you right now, Randy Carlyle probably would have been a better option
oh my God.
For this team than than this guy. But at the end of the, like, let's be real, and I know you guys don't like him. But I really believe he would have had a. Randy Carlyle was bad, but I think he was bad for the Leafs.
Well, because he coached Anaheim to a Stanley Cup.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It could have been a little bit of a better situation for Randy coming to Vancouver. He's kind of used to the whole rebuild kind of thing going on that's happening. I mean, Anaheim kind of went through that while he was there, and I think that was through 2015 to last year or the year before?
Yeah, something like that. I know he was let go, I think, a couple seasons ago or last season or something like that, but the team wasn't that good at the time.
No. But he could have some success. He could have had some success.
Man, you're all over talking today.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God, I know. But, yeah, I mean, Bruce Boudreau, fuck. Yeah, good luck. We're going to be seeing him on the front page of The Athletic or
Sportsnet. I can't wait to see clips of him screaming down the bench, swearing up a storm. That's like one of the best parts. Like him and John Tortorella. Yo, if Vancouver picked up Tortorella, like there's an option there too.
That would have been a better choice.
Exactly.
Like
so many better choices than him. The only reason why I'm thinking they got him is because of money. I had to have been because of money.
Yeah, unless they see something in his coaching style that they like and think that they could fix the team. That'd be the only thing, but I don't know. I think there's better options out there, that's for sure.
I would just say, like, on the note of teams...
Wouldn't you much have... Sorry to cut you off, Tyler, but wouldn't you much rather have even the Montreal Canadiens' old head coach?
Oh my God, what was his name?
Although I know there was like two
Claude Julien.
or something. Yeah, Claude
Julien.
Julien,
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you could go for that too.
Like, I feel like he would have been better. Like, yeah, sure, he didn't bring much success to the Montreal Canadiens.
Not the Canadiens, but he has tenure with Boston.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he had tenure with the Canadiens prior to his tenure in Boston, because that was his second run with Montreal.
Very weird. But yeah, sorry.
Weird.
I was just gonna move on and say, on another note of teams letting go of their coaches, is the Flyers fired Alain Vignon today. After an 8-10-4 record starting off the year, 8-game losing streak for the Flyers. Pack your shit, get out.
See you later.
Yeah, but I think them firing right after like Tampa Bay, like did they they might as well just have fired him beforehand. I felt like it was just like a kind of gimmick. Like, what? Oh, if you win against Tampa Bay, you're not going to be like, yeah, bullshit, win against Tampa Bay. Like, you might, like, I felt like it was just like, oh, okay, you know what? Sure, fine, fuck it. Just stay for one more game. Like, what was the point of keeping him around against Tampa? It made no sense. Unless maybe they wanted to find, like, someone very quickly, like, immediately after. But, again, you could have did that beforehand, the game prior to Tampa. I mean...
Didn't Tampa like shit pump them 7-1 or something?
7-1.
Oh my God. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, now they've got their interim head coach Mike Yeo, who last coached, I believe it was St. Louis, I think was his last head coaching gig. Yeah, He last head coach for St. Louis for 2017 to 2020. Or at least
So
he was
won the
supposed.
cup with
He
St.
was
Louis?
supposed. No, he was supposed to, but he got fired 2 years after he started head coaching. So we'll see how this goes. We got a couple teams now that have already let go of their coaches. It's crazy to see that, like.
Well, another team that's been kind of on like the weird route is the Montreal Canadiens, with letting people go, and after getting rid of Mark Bergevin, which now Patrick Roy was interested in the GM
He's
position.
like, yeah, I'll do it.
How fucking funny would that be? Him texting fucking give me your fucking players, you fuck, or some shit, or like I think. Oh man, I've always said Patrick Roy is one of like the funniest fucking people. I think it'd be great to see him just like answering presser questions about the fucking team. Hey, just let me fucking deal with the team. You guys fucking handle your fucking newspaper.
So, Mr. Wah, how do you feel about your off season so far? Why don't you go fuck yourself, bud?
Yeah, it's probably feel like how that's gonna go.
You'll find out when you find out.
Yeah. Fucking. I'm also curious to know how bad of a shape the Montreal Canadiens are in. Like, are they letting on, and how good or bad they're in?
Well, I think they're like bottom 3 of the league.
Yeah, they're one of the bottom teams in Canada for sure. They just lost to Nashville over the weekend. Again, they're 2-7-1 in their last 10. How does that answer your question?
Basically sums it up.
Like this team's rough.
Yeah.
They've got very few bright spots with what's going on this season, and I understand the Canadiens fans are pissed. I get it.
Oh,
but also at the same time, you got to look at the circumstances. You guys are missing your two best players essentially, with Weber out until the end of the season, possibly his career being over, and then Carey Price, I read today, is not looking to play any games before the end of December. What do you expect? Who you got in net after Jake Allen? Like, who's their... Montembeault? Yeah, they've got Montembeault and Primo up as their second and third goalie because Price is out. These guys stink. What do you expect from your backup goalies?
That's tough, especially with Price being out. I think that's their biggest hit right there, is Price being out. Obviously, Weber doesn't help being out either, but two huge keys on that team are just not there. Like,
no, all three of your goalies have more than have the best goals against average is 3.01 by Jake Allen. So he's letting in at least 3 goals per game on average this season so far. The guys started 19 games. You got a .907 save percentage. You're not looking at a good back end there. It's not.
Why don't they pick up a goalie then? Like, what?
Why would I pick up
Price?
That's the thing, is if I'm Montreal, why would I pick up a goalie when I've got Price coming back soon?
Yeah, but is Price staying?
That's the whole thing. Is like you think about it.
I was gonna say I was gonna say here's the thing. If they hadn't had Carey Price in the playoffs that they should not have been in, would they have gone as far as they did? Like, would they have lost out against Toronto?
Absolutely.
Or would they have lost out against who did they face second? The Islanders?
Winnipeg.
No, it was Winnipeg.
Like, would they have lost out against Winnipeg? Like, I really believe Price is what got them through there, because he is a playoff goalie. Is Jake Allen a playoff goalie?
Not a chance.
Absolutely not. I feel like getting rid of Jake Allen would probably be your best bet. And looking desperately for a new goalie. But here's the thing. There's no... I feel like with goalies, you need to be like, it's hard. It's really hard, I think, for teams to be like, hey, listen, we need a goalie. Let's draft one. And then that drafted goalie is what? Starting the same amount of games that Price is? That's not going to happen.
You can't.
You need to have, exactly. You can't do it. You need to have that kind of build up for not only your team, but other teams to be like, oh, fuck, okay. Like, Vasilevsky, best goalie in the league right now, bar none. It's not even a fucking contest at this point, I don't think. Maybe he's not the best right now in this particular moment. But again, I don't think that fucking matters. But he didn't play until 2015, and I think he got drafted like 2 years before that, if I'm not mistaken. And only reason why he played is because Ben Bishop got hurt.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why. So I feel like with having a goalie and then needing one is a very different kind of ball game that you're playing, because it's risky. It's really, really, really risky. But I do think that they definitely need a new goalie.
Goalies always develop later than like players. Like skaters, defensemen, they always develop quicker than goalies. Like you can look at someone like Jack Campbell, for example. He didn't really get like a good start with his career. Like obviously he was drafted in 2010, I believe it was. And he played one game with the team that drafted him in Dallas. He was drafted 11th overall in 2010 by the Stars. He played one game for them. And then he didn't really get somewhat of a decent start afterwards until he started playing in LA. So he was drafted in 2010. He didn't get his first starting position until like 2018-19 when he was splitting with Quick. That's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
You don't get a lot of goalies that come in like Carey Price, who come in the league 3 years after they're drafted or 2 years after they're drafted and start playing the way that they're playing. You got someone like Carter Hart in Philly, who's a great goalie who could be for Team Canada. It's very rare where you get goalies that come out and are so good this early in their career.
Yeah, Spencer Knight's another one for Florida.
Yes, Spencer Knight is a great example.
Yeah, young kid, and
I really believe drafting for goalies is super fucking hard.
Very.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you have to be either A, really lucky, or you need to spend at least 1, maybe 2 years of scouting on the kid. Like, I'm sure the Montreal scouted Carey Price for a long time before they really were like, okay, let's force a loss here of the season.
I remember when he was drafted too. All the people who were like all the reporters and all the insiders were like, "Why are you drafting him so high? This guy's a goalie. Yeah. Why are you drafting a goalie so high?" And now look at him. Yeah. He's the best goalie in the league when he's healthy, and when he's playing and when he's playing healthy, and when he's in like those win now scenarios. That's when he plays his best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we saw it this last season.
Series.
We saw it this playoffs. Yeah. They played like garbage going into the playoffs, and then all of a sudden he just put the team on his back and carried them to a Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
And
a weird thing too about that team is Pacioretty came out and was saying that everyone has a shelf life on that team, but Carey Price still there. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's weird to think about those kind of like statements that players say afterwards after they leave teams. Especially Pacioretty, for someone who was there for the amount of time he was, and the fact that he was captain too. That's a really heavy thing to say about your former team.
It is.
And I feel like it'd be really interesting to see how those comments kind of play out in the coming future when they end up playing Montreal, like in Montreal from now on.
Every time I think of Pacioretty, I think of the hit that Chara gave.
Oh my God!
Where his head snapped off the boards there. Shit was dangerous.
That's the reason why they curve. That's the reason why they curve the boards at those corners now, because they used to be straight corners, and now they're curves, because he busted his neck.
He could have he almost fucking died.
Yeah, could have died, yeah. That was bad. What? Like, it could Price. I mean, like, with that, like, for the shelf life, that comment by Pacioretty there, I think, how could you, like, not want Carey Price there? Like, that's, like, he's obviously not the problem there in Montreal. You know what I mean? Like, he's one of the greatest goalies, like we've said, when he's playing and healthy, and he's proved it in the last playoff series there last year, like, carrying the team directly to a Stanley Cup final. Yeah, I don't know. I just can't. I don't think I could see him leaving Montreal at all. Like, I don't think they'll ever trade him or get rid of him at any point unless he wants out himself.
Exactly.
And even that, I
I
have a hard time believing that he will leave.
I also
but
find it would be difficult for a team to even consider picking him up with his cap hit and his age.
that's the other thing. Huge cap hit.
I don't expect him to be playing in the next 1 or 2 seasons.
You think he's going to retire or something's going to cause him to be out?
Yeah, it's rare. I
It's
mean,
a
he
hot
was
take.
skating. He was skating recently, without his goalie gear,
Yeah.
and I don't know. When I was watching it, I just got this feeling like, ooh, I think this guy's done. I think he has probably maybe the rest of this season in him, maybe one more, and then that's gonna be it.
Think
And
he
I
goes to
think
the
maybe-
Olympics?
No,
No,
I don't think so. I think he endured the Montreal fans long enough, and I think that that's kind of. I've watched him. Not as much as Montreal Canadian fans, but I think I've watched him a fair amount, where you can see his progression, but then also his decline, where he starts getting really pissed off at things, starts yelling, starts hitting players back, and like doing all this crazy thing. I think now, I'm sure that he's probably had the conversation with his wife, where he's like, "Hey, let's just do our Amazon promos and call her quits because this is all I can handle now because it's just ridiculous." And I wouldn't be blaming him. The fans in Montreal are absolutely fucking insane. I would argue that they're more intense than Toronto Maple Leaf fans
I would absolutely agree.
by a tenfold, because they either hate you or love you. It doesn't matter who. And yeah, I get this feeling. Not to keep repeating myself, but I keep getting this feeling where I would not be surprised if Carey Price says, "Hey, listen, you know what? It's been a hell of a fucking ride, but I want to start doing pottery. See ya," and just fucking hit the road. Yeah, I think Montreal should seriously be looking at goalies right now. I think that is what they need, for sure. Jake Allen is not going to bring you a Stanley Cup. Jake Allen, unfortunately, right now is a backup goalie. Maybe with a couple more years, he'll be able to either find a team that has amazing players and people just think he's good, or maybe he reaches his prime. And yeah, but I don't think Carey Price is in this league for much longer. He'll be out before Ovechkin is. Let me just say that.
wow,
Ooh, hot take.
that's a hot take.
It is.
I mean, I will say, Jake Allen was on the Stanley Cup winning team with St. Louis, and then played the season afterwards before he went to Montreal in that trade. And I understand why Montreal got him, because they needed somebody to kind of loosen the load off of Price, because Price was playing too many games and had nobody behind him to back him up. So that's why they traded for him and signed him to that extension.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're paying, I think, close to $15 million in 2 goalies. That's like,
a lot.
that's insane.
Jake Allen's getting $5 million.
It's like 14. It's like 4.5, and then like Price is making 10.5, or something like that.
Yeah,
He is.
it's a lot in goalies. Jeez.
It's a rough situation in Montreal when it comes to goalies, and I understand that they've got that, like, I understand that it's difficult right now for the fans. Like, they're throwing jerseys on the ice now. People are getting frustrated. It's completely justified. I get it. But at the same time, I will say that last season was a Cinderella story, if anything, because that team was not that good. They just weren't.
Yeah, that was the luckiest thing they could ever have.
Yeah.
And I think it was also the worst thing that could have happened to that team.
Both seasons, last season and the one before, with the bubble playoffs. They shouldn't have even been in those playoffs. Then they got all hot-headed and they thought, oh my God, like, look at us. Then they made it last season because of the way that the playoff format was. And then they ran through the Canadian division and they ran through Vegas just to get stomped by Tampa. I don't know. I think it was just like there was no way. There was no way that once they made it to the final that they were going to get through Tampa.
No, not with Tampa.
You think they could have won against the Islanders? Because that was the other team, right?
Yes, I do.
No, the Islanders are no more though.
That's what I mean. Is like the Islanders. I don't understand what is going on in the Island right now. The 11-game losing streak. We thought that the Flyers were bad. Oh my God.
That's weird.
This Islanders team is on an 11-game losing streak. It's officially been 1 month since they last won a game.
That's nuts.
It was against the Winnipeg Jets. They're last in the NHL in goals scored, and they're averaging less than 2 goals per game at only 1.89 per game. That's second last. Only Arizona is scoring less per game at 1.79. But who's surprised with Arizona there? I don't understand what's going on. I mean, they just got their. I thought maybe it was because they were on the road, and then they've had now a couple weeks playing some games at home, and they still suck.
Yeah, I don't know what the Islanders I just heard that they play such boring defensive hockey, and that's
what I mean. Is like Barry Trotz is like this great coach and everything, and they had such an amazing run last season just to get to the conference final again.
Yeah.
Play Tampa again in the conference final. That's 2 years in a row now where you play Tampa in a row in a Game 7 situation or a all or nothing situation in the playoffs, and to just come out of it this bad in the new season, I don't understand.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of weird. What a weird start to the season.
This
where, like,
season
teams
is
have
so weird.
Yeah, no business of being in the places that they're in, and I don't know. It's such a weird start, but I'm here for it. So
exactly, it's I've always said it's good to see different teams because I was getting so sick like in the mid 2010s how it was like always like Chicago versus LA and like Pittsburgh versus New York and crap like this, and like
Boston,
all these like in Boston too, all these like the same 3 or 4 teams rolling into the cup final every year, and I'm like, oh my God, like especially that Chicago run, it was just like every year almost these guys were in
literally.
the final. So it's nice to see these new teams in, but like, man, like 5-10-5. I understand they've only played 20 games, but these Islanders, like, what happened? Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I don't understand.
1 goal away from beating Tampa and getting into the cup final. 2 years in a row.
Jeez, that's no good.
And now you're here, bottom of the Metro, bottom of the league. I mean, good for you. Maybe you'll get a good pick, and then it'll come right back up. But like,
just tank for Shane Wright.
Honestly,
like every other team's doing.
Exactly.
That's at the bottom.
I just want to touch on something that over here in Leafland, Marner's been out over the weekend. I don't know if you saw what was going on, Taylor. He sustained an injury during practice a few days ago with a collision with Muzzin. Marner took the brunt of it, and we still haven't heard yet as to what's wrong with him. And we don't know if he's going to be back on Tuesday.
Great. Love that.
Yeah, it's rough here in Leafland now. Considering what happened over the past couple games. Taylor, did you catch any of the games over the weekend?
A little bit. I was a little bit in on the mini game when they played Minnesota there. I was going a little bit back and forth. From what I saw, it was a good game. Exciting. They came back to force OT and then a shootout and end up losing in a shootout.
No, that overtime was unreal though. Like it was back and forth. It was electric.
Yeah.
I can say firmly like Minnesota is playing really well this season. They've always been kind of a team that's like, I don't know if they're going to be good this year or whatnot, but since they got Kaprizov, like this guy's unreal. Every time he had the puck, sick. I was like, oh buddy, don't.
Yeah.
But there's a couple things that I wanted to pull in from that night. Mike Foligno takes that route, goes along the outside, and completely runs over Campbell in the net. Near the end of, I believe it was the third period.
I don't know if I saw that.
The refs don't see it. It was a blatant goalie interference call. And there was no call. This guy takes a route that there's no way to avoid the goalie. A guy comes flying down the left wing.
Maybe that's why there was no call? Because there was no way to avoid the goalie?
Don't go that route.
I've seen calls that have gone against.
Calls, I've seen this thing that can get called before. And yeah. I'm sorry, but if you're the puck carrier and you run into a goalie like that, if you're the ref, you see this. You see this play happening. There's no way you don't call this. So why?
Did it look like a purposeful thing?
He could have gone a different route. I will say there is one thing. I feel like there was lacking of gap control. On the Leafs side, I feel like they could have pushed him out to the outside a bit more, maybe forced him to the boards and maybe have him go around the net instead of running into Jack. But still, come on, like these refs. Nick was saying it about football. I'm going to say it about NHL because it happens in every single sport. These refs stink.
They do fucking stink.
I don't understand. And like again, this wasn't even the worst of it. Sunday night.
Are the NHL refs, are they hired by the NHL or are they kind of a different thing? Like the NFL refs, they're not part of the NFL organization.
I believe that they're actually included with the NHL, and they're also included in the Players Association because they're technically on the ice, so they need to be protected by something. So I believe they have their own type of Players Association as well. That's a good question, though. I might have to look that up later. But as I was saying, this wasn't even the worst of it. Sunday night, the Leafs and Jets battle each other like it's a medieval fucking times. And the refs were garbage then, too.
I missed that game. I got to watch that, though.
Oh, my God.
I've seen the clips of it, but oh, my God.
Yeah, there's this one clip that I saw. Dubois has Matthews from behind, and they wrestle on the ice, and the refs just stand there and fucking watch.
I saw that, yeah. And then I heard it was offsetting penalties with that?
Yeah, offsetting. Matthews can't do shit. Exactly.
You had a guy crawling on you all over you, like you had a monkey on your fucking back here, and this guy's calling like, you were.
Yeah,
you go to the box
Matthews'
too. Like,
absolutely Matthews.
Oh my God, that makes no sense. Like these, I don't know, these refs, man. Like
next,
now,
you got fucking Neil Pionk. This fucking guy goes knee on knee with Sandin. Sandin gets helped off the ice after the hit.
I did see that.
That's kind of weird. We were just talking about the knee-on-knee hits a little while ago.
Yeah. No, it happens all the fucking time. And this is just insane. You got... This guy goes knee-on-knee with Sandin. Sandin gets helped off the ice. He's now... they had an over-the-phone hearing this afternoon, and he's been suspended for 2 games. Sandin out for 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
First reported
Big
by
loss, actually.
Chris Johnson of the STPN. Yeah, absolutely. This guy's been killer. on defense this season. Absolutely stepping up. Great on the second PP. I feel like him and Riley have been switching out on the first PP as well to kind of get some, different movement and stuff. I feel like he's been a huge part.
Yeah.
He's been a huge part of this team. And it sucks to see him down, but I'm glad it's only for 2 to 3 weeks. It could have been so much worse. You guys are children.
Yeah, like it's so annoying that like that happened and like Sandine is missing time. Like that drives me up the wall. Like that guy Sandine's been nothing but good since the beginning of the season. And to lose him like that sucks. Like that really sucks. And now we got to see more of Justin Hall, which can't wait.
Honestly, because like
Hate
you're
that
gonna
guy.
have Justin Hall. Because now that Sandine's out, you're gonna have Justin Hall in, and then maybe Dermott comes in, and like it kind of possibly opens a spot for Liljegren to play a little bit more and see how he plays out, because he's been playing pretty decently as well when he's had some chances to get in, but he's been out for like a week or so, I think now.
Yeah, so he
just
probably
being a
see
healthy
more
scratch.
ice time.
So maybe he'll see some ice time, which will be nice. But it
That'd be
comes
really
off
good.
of a terrible fucking play by Pionk. Not to be forgotten about is Joseph Wall. Yeah,
No.
Joseph Wall
Just Wall. Yeah.
was in net this game. This is the second half of a back-to-back. He gets clipped by Dubois in the head when he's out playing the puck. Now, I will say I believe, in my personal opinion, if you're a goalie, don't go that far out of the net. He was like at the hash marks, and he tries to poke check, and then he goes to like kind of bump it with his glove, and Dubois just clips him in the head with his knee. So, again, as I said, like this game got out of hand so quickly. Game management is such a problem in the NHL with these refs. I'm so sick and tired of these makeup calls. Oh, you get, like, as I was saying, because in the game against Minnesota, there was that missed call against Jack, and then there was like a really, really, really soft call, a slashing call, I think in overtime, that was called against Minnesota. It was a weak call. Yes, it was a slash, but I understand why Minnesota fans were mad. But the refs need to just call the fucking rules. If a player's breaking the rules, just call the fucking penalties, man.
Yeah,
we talked about it. People have talked about it at great lengths about how all last playoffs, in the 4 games that they played, McDavid didn't draw a penalty. Are you fucking kidding me? Connor McDavid doesn't draw a penalty in 4 games of playoff hockey. Refs, you're fucked. What happens to the rule book? Is there 2?
Whoa, that's a hot take. That's a hot take. Whoa!
That scared me. Oh, fuck.
I don't fucking get it, man.
Didn't McDavid get game misconduct the other night? Or was it last night?
Yes, yeah. He got
for a check from behind.
Yeah.
That seemed a little weak, but I don't know. I didn't get too much of a good look on it. So
neither did I. I don't know how it's going on with other teams. I just know that the past couple games with the Leafs has been a fucking joke. These refs need to relax. Austin Matthews was talking about how the entire last period of play last night against the Jets wasn't even hockey. It got absolutely out of control so quickly. I don't know if you saw the clip of Logan Stanley.
I hate that
Jets.
guy.
This guy's
such a jackass.
Such a fucking plug. You're on the fucking
guy's
third
such a
line of
jackass.
defense in the Jets organization, and you don't even throw a punch in. You didn't even win the fight, and you're acting like you won fucking belt
A gold
in wrestling.
medal. Yeah.
Like, what are you fucking doing? Get off the ice.
This guy's such a loser, man. Like, what do you, like, honestly, I don't understand. Like, because I saw a couple of clips, and Wayne Simmons was running around, and he gave a brutal cross-check. I don't know who it was, too, but
Yeah,
that was a wicked cross-check. And he was going around, he gave another guy a shot, and then the refs called the play because of the penalty or whatever, and Logan Stanley was skating by, and Simmons tried to get with him, and this guy's just skating away like a big baby. But then all of a sudden, at the last, whatever it was, at the end of the third there,
like
he comes in, jumps.
They get into that huge fucking scrum, and then he just starts
starts
jumping,
throwing hands and shit, and like
he doesn't even land a punch.
Yeah, it does, and then he just walks away like he's the champion now. Like, I don't understand. That's to me that's like this says so much about your character. Like, you're such a loser for doing that. Like, if you actually fought him, and then won the fight and get into the crowd, then fine, sure, all to you. But like,
also you're up 6-3 in a game.
You're up yeah, exactly. Another thing, you're up
6-3,
and you jump a guy or jump in the scrum. Oh, I don't know. It's so dumb. Like, that's, to me, that's just idiotic.
Maybe he was trying to go for the Gordy hat trick. Was it that the goal
assist,
and a fight?
Gordie Howe hat trick. Last thing that came from this game too. Again, like, this game was completely out of hand. Jason Spezza kneeing.
That's it. Yeah.
I don't even know who it was. I think it was Pionk.
It was.
I think he kneed Pionk in the face.
No.
And he's gonna have an in-person hearing. So we're looking at it's supposed to be tomorrow. So
minimum 5 games.
Minimum of 5 games, which sucks because Spezza's
gone.
been playing great. But you know what?
Yeah. He had a big game in Minnesota.
Oh, huge game.
Yeah.
Buddy scores 2 goals to bring us close.
Yeah, and an assist, 3.9.
Unreal. This guy has turned back the clock. Who does this guy think he is? Ovi? Who scored 750 this past week?
Down. That's a team that's good. Like, Washington Capitals are playing great right now. They're playing really freaking good, but I think everyone is just riding that wave that's coming with Ovechkin. Everyone's just having fun. No one's really giving a shit. I think everyone on that team just wants him to beat the record now. Like, everyone's like, okay, screw the Stanley Cup. Let's just get him to the record.
I cannot believe that this 36-year-old man has 40 points in 20 games played this season. Yeah. Who is this guy?
A fucking animal. And you know what's funny? Right now, he has more points than Sidney Crosby altogether.
Oh, that's great.
Like,
that's insane.
More points than Sidney Crosby from all the seasons.
It's together. Crazy. He's only 2 points, and like, I'm talking like the game that's going on right now. He's already got an assist in this game that's going on right now. Yeah. But he's only 2 points behind McDavid. Yeah. And like, Ovi started slow. He started like fairly slow for the first couple games, and then he's like, all right, I'm gonna put the team on my back though.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on with this guy, man. He I feel like he's just got injected with the super serum from Captain America or some shit. Because I feel there's like no stopping him. He's on pace to score 65 goals. What? You're 36 years old. You should be on your come down. Maybe you hit second line. You're just enjoying the team. You're just enjoying playing the game, and you're on pace to score 65 goals. Are you fucking kidding me? Fucking Jesus.
Unreal.
Absolutely insane.
Absolutely insane. The guy's the best goal scorer, man.
Absolutely.
100%.
100%.
Where does he sit now?
He's third.
Sorry, in the all-time. In the third.
He's third now, I believe. And he just passed 750. So, Nick, you've got this note about Campbell that I really wanted to kind of get into a discussion with.
What's that note? Bring it up.
You were saying think that Jack Campbell deserves a break.
Yeah, I feel like he's being overplayed. I feel like right now what's going to end up happening is the coach, even fucking Dubas, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, he's doing really really well, blah blah blah, and then they're just gonna burn him out. He's gonna end up with a serious injury, or he's just gonna be too tired to face off against high contending teams. I think he needs right now someone A, just as good as him, or B, damn near close to take up the. Because without him, you guys are not going anywhere. I know you guys are doing really well right now, but without him, I'm sorry, you guys are not going to go anywhere. Right now, I truly believe this at the bottom of my heart. You have the best goalie that this franchise has ever seen.
Wow.
Bar none.
Wow.
Bar none. Is there better goalies out there? Probably. But is it the best goalie that you guys have had? 1,000%. Freddie Anderson was shit for you guys. I don't know if it was because he couldn't handle it. I don't know if it was because he didn't want to be there. I don't know if it's because he just was just getting fed up. I don't know any of that. Was he better than, the old school guys? Was his name Belfour? Absolutely. Absolutely. You have the best. I would be taking care of this guy right now. I would be taking care of it, giving him as much physical therapy as he needs, the rest he needs, catering to this guy. Way more than Austin Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares, all combined. There is no chance that you guys go past round one in the playoffs without him, without giving him the Do you think that he's going to be able to compete against Vasilevsky in round? If you guys faced off round one, there's no fucking chance. If he's playing the amount of games he's playing right now, not a chance. Unless he's going for some record.
Do you wanna hear these stats? I'm pretty sure I brought it up a couple episodes ago, but I'm gonna bring it up again because it's been a couple weeks. Jack Campbell's tenure with Toronto. This is his record. 33, 9, and 5.
Yep.
Exactly it. That's exactly my point.
Absolutely unbelievable. He had a rough start when he came in with 3-2-1, but I mean he only played 6 games. But then when he had to come in last season, he just took that starting job from Freddie and said, "Sayonara, how you doing? Keep it moving," as Nick would like to say. And he's just run with it. And I would like to partially agree with you that he does need a break. I feel like he could have like a couple days off,
I'm not saying have him replaced. I'm not saying,
Right.
I don't even think he should be sharing the load with anybody. But I'm saying
I agree with that.
I think maybe for 60% minimum of the month, he should be in net against the crucial teams. Like John Cooper isn't playing. I'm sorry, he's not playing Vasilevsky probably against you guys. I don't see him that. I don't see him doing that.
I do not think that the Leafs should play him against the Kraken on a Sunday night.
But that's exactly it. Like,
and I mean, they're not going to because
balance.
The Canucks are actually. You know what? Play him against the Kraken because you're playing the Canucks the night before. So you're gonna put in your backup against the Canucks because they're trash. But like a Tuesday night game against I don't know, the Coyotes. Put in Joseph Woll. Yeah. Put in Peter Mrazek. I understand Mrazek's right now down in a conditioning stint in the AHL, which is good to see because he's been injured for most of the season. He's only played 2 games. But yeah, I completely agree with you. You don't have to play him every single game. Absolutely give him a week off type thing or a couple games off just to give him some rest because you don't want to kill him, right? And that's kind of
which is why I was going to say, which is why I'm glad you guys have Mrazek because he has that experience. He has tenure with other teams. Because, again, I hate to make this comparison, but, Vasilevsky has Brian Elliott as their backup. He's not a super great goalie, but he knows how to hold his own 4 games to keep the momentum going for Tampa Bay. And that's exactly what I think Toronto needs. What's his face? I forget his name. Is it Justin Holl? Is that his name?
Joseph
or
Wool.
Joseph
Joseph Wool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's too many whatevers.
Wool and Hall.
Yeah,
Hall.
everything fucking sounds the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably could compete. See, like what I would do once Mrazek comes back, he's proved himself. I would trade Wool. I would trade him. He could easily end up on a team that really needs a goalie. Get the money for him, and I'm sorry, I know that's a hot take, but you guys don't need him because he'd be competing. Think of it, he'd be competing with Campbell's Soup, trying to get that. I get that feeling when I watch him play, when I've watched him in interviews, that he has this I'm number one attitude. And you don't want that. You don't want that with someone like Brian Elliott knows Vasilevsky's king. I'm going to keep it that way. I'm here to relieve him. That's what you need. That you need someone like that to be able to keep the balance. You need someone that understands, okay, I'm here to make sure that number one gets sleep. Number one gets the PT he needs, gets this and that done for him. You know, if you're relying on two players, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have two players that are going to be either A, splitting the games with each other, which I don't want for Campbell. I would rather have him finish off this season with, like, you know, something easy that you guys could probably do. 45 wins, 50 wins easily, maybe even 60 wins, and having him the majority of that, 40 wins, you know, for this season. I mean, that'd be fucking awesome. That'd be great. Like, hey, we didn't have it in Freddie, but we have it in Jack. We have a good standing thing. Now all the thing you really need, I guess you don't really need it right now, I guess, but would be defensive players. That one guy that's your go-to guy, whether that's Buddy or Pal,
Still
or whatever
need
his
that.
name is.
Riley.
Pardon?
O'Reilly?
Yeah, O'Reilly. That, I guess you could say that's questionable. I mean, obviously you guys think it's him. I don't think it's him.
I
But
think we're still missing that solid piece on the back end, I think.
that's what I'm
Riley's,
saying. Like, I feel like
you know, helps a lot, but I mean, like,
he's not
that
a bad player. I'm
solidified
not
guy.
saying, yeah, here's the thing. He's not a bad player. But when I think of defensive player on, again, I hate bringing it up, but when I think of defensive player on Tampa Bay Lightning, Victor Hedman. I couldn't even remember Morgan Riley's name. And I'm pretty sure when I was thinking of his name, I called him O'Reilly at first. And now that I'm thinking about this.
Jesus.
So I don't look at him as, maybe it's because I'm also not a Leaf fan. That might be a reason. But I also don't think of him as, like, your star back-end player. Like, I don't know. Maybe because he flies under the radar too much. Or maybe because when he's on the ice, it doesn't really matter. Which is, again, that might be a hot take. But when Victor Hedman's on the ice, the other teams feel it. He's a very big fucking defensive player. And he knows how to get the fucking job done. And he's not afraid to throw his body. And he also got second star of, the week?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not a under the radar kind of player. He's, let me do the job that needs to get done kind of guy. And I feel like that's one. I don't think you guys need it right now because you guys are kind of lucking out. I think you guys are really strong on the offense to enough where it cripples the other team. But yeah, with Jack Campbell, I think you guys really need to give him some type of a break. Give him some time off. Don't let him play 100% of the games every month. I would say even 80 games of the month is even risky. Like, you gotta make sure your groin is good. That's exactly why, going back on Carey Price, that's why Carey Price got hurt so much with his groin. It's because they played him so much. Like, it was constantly.
Well, that's Mrazek's problem right now.
Exactly.
He re-aggravated his groin injury.
Yeah.
Exactly. And a lot of people, and I know I'm saying this once again, a lot of people don't like how, you know, for the past couple of seasons, Vasilevsky doesn't see as much ice time as Carey Price used to. And that's because John Cooper knows. He's the fucking... I've said it before, that not many players are the be-all, end-all. If we lose Vasilevsky, we will never see another fucking with this core, we will never see another fucking Stanley Cup playoff game ever again. And I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. I love the Tampa Bay Lightning. I love all the team. I love all the players on there. I'm a huge Stamkos fan. I love everybody. Braden Point. But if we don't have Vasilevsky, I'm sorry, we don't make it as far as we do. That guy, and Jack Campbell has that kind of influence on the team. Like, if you guys lose him, it's going to affect your guy. Like, if he gets hurt, just think of that. Like, let's say, for example, he has, like, a leg injury or a lower body issue, and he's out for 2 weeks. Do you really think that you guys are going to be able to keep the... Because you guys have gone the distance right now. You guys are pretty good in the league right now. I think you guys are, what, number 1 or something like that? Or damn near
we're
close?
up there. We're up there.
Third, I think, we dropped because of the losses. Yeah. But, yeah,
If
top 5 for sure.
Yeah, if you guys lose, I'm sorry, if you guys lose Jack Campbell, you guys are back at fucking square one. You guys might as well just throw Freddie Anderson back in net, just borrow him. Like, there's going to be no reason. You guys really need to take care. I think, and I really do hope that management on the Toronto Maple Leafs realize this and don't give in to the fans. Just because he's not playing doesn't mean he's not number 1 still. He's still goalie 1. He's not goalie 2. But give him the fucking break he deserves. Give him the break he needs. Like I said, I think a minimum 60-65% of games a month should be played by him. Mm-hmm. The rest, leave it to a good backup, a strong backup, an out of the league in a couple years backup. Mrazek might be perfect for that, but he's also hurt, so
yeah,
who really knows? But like I said, once Mrazek comes back, you guys got to get rid of Wool. I don't think he suits the Toronto Maple Leafs, because if he does, then you have to pick between Campbell and him. It's just like, and I can give you guys the exact same comparison. When Montreal Canadiens had Halak and went on that run. You guys remember that a couple years ago?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Exactly. They got rid of Halak. Halak looked way better than Carey Price, but the issue was Halak was a backup. All of a sudden, he's playing like a star goalie. Can't have that. Carey Price is the star goalie. And you have two people kind of competing for number 1, and drives out everything out of the rest of the team, I think.
Yeah, I don't know Joseph Wool's personality. Like, I haven't seen it, but if he is like that, then yeah, that's... I don't know. I don't know what that means, like, really for the team. Like, it drives his game, and I think it would drive Campbell's game up to battle for it, but I think Wool's too young to take that.
Yeah, he's only 23.
Number 1 spot.
So, here's my thing, is, like, even if you have him there as, like, a backup, or if you send him down to the AHL and he plays starter for the next couple seasons with the Marlies, I mean, he's making only $750. So if you can get him to come up when Mrazek's deal is up in 3 years.
That's what I'm thinking.
And then trade out Mrazek.
Yeah. Clear up that cap space.
Then you clear up that cap space, exactly, and then you've got this 1-2 punch of Campbell and Wool, and then once Campbell starts getting old and starting to slip up or whatever, then that's when you bring in Wool and say, here's your starting position, let's see if you can run with it, kind of thing. And then maybe we can go on a run of having a good few goalies. And I'm really hoping that Joseph Wool kind of makes it, solely because, like, the Leafs haven't had, like, a homegrown goalie since James Reimer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's exactly what I mean.
That's rough. You can't just go out and trade for goalies all the time. They're hard to come by. There's only 32 teams in the league, and there's only 25 good goalies.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
If that, yeah. I don't know. I think, the thing with Joseph Wool, like, obviously he had a bad game last night against the Jets, but other than that, I think he's been pretty solid.
I don't even think that game was on him. I think that game was just out of control all throughout the entire game. And I feel like that just bubbles over from last season when the Jets and the Leafs, I don't know if you remember, Taylor, that rivalry there got rough near the end of it with with what's his face.
The first bubble, wasn't it?
No. With Joe Thornton screwing around with Ehlers.
Oh, that was my
during
favorite.
the last game. It was the best thing, but I feel like that just kind of bubbled over into this season, and like I feel like this game got out of control and the refs did nothing about it. But I kind of want to move on from that topic because like that's like we already talked about that game.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know we talked about it. It was just the Nick and I special a couple episodes ago. Him and I talked about it, but I wanted to kind of get your opinion on it. Taylor, did you see the Olympic jerseys?
I did.
You did? I'm going to send them to you again just for reference. I want to know what you think of the Canadian jerseys.
Yeah, I mean, there's three, right? They got the red, the black, the white, and then the black. And I don't know. I don't like the red jerseys, the red with the black stripes. I think that in the black leaf, I don't like that. I think it's so bad. Like I think they should just kept it Canadian and just the red and white would have been fine. Like the white jerseys look clean as shit.
The whole thing is though, I understand why they had the black because Hockey Canada has always kind of had the black with I think before back in 2010 the word Canada was written in black underneath the leaf with the hockey guy in it. So I understand why the black is incorporated in the red jersey, but there's no white in it at all.
No, I know, and that's the other thing. It's like
I don't understand.
I don't know
why.
It doesn't look good in my opinion on that part. Like I think they could have done so much better with that. Like I'm not even a fan of like the leaf itself either.
Do you see the turkey bent over and showing its butthole in that leaf?
I didn't even realize.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people that say it looks like a turkey butthole. Some other people like to say that it looks like a pot leaf. Like I mean, I'm looking at it, and like the more I look at it, I love those black jerseys. I think they look clean as fuck. They remind me a lot of the North American jerseys from the 2016 World Cup of Hockey.
Yeah, the black's not that bad. Like,
but I don't like how the leaf is black, as well.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
I think it should have been like maybe like a white or even like a red. I don't understand why they had to make the leaf black, and just have the little red outline on it. I feel like you're not going to see it, but the back of that black jersey looks so clean because the writing is all in red. A lot of people don't like these.
I really like them.
I like them too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm again like as
I'm
Taylor was saying, I'm not that big of a fan of the red one, just because like I feel like there should be some sort of white on it. It feels too. If the tone of red was a little bit brighter, I feel like it would look like orange and black, and it would look like a Halloween costume. But
I don't know. I don't like them.
But like, I mean, I will say, and I said it when I was talking to Nick a couple shows ago, definitely a lot better than these U.S. jerseys. I don't understand what they were thinking when they made these jerseys. Why do you have two different colors of blue?
Yeah, that was one thing that I was thinking about too when I looked at them. But I don't know, who designs these? Who makes these? Is it Nike? Nike, right?
Yeah, Nike.
Yeah.
I
don't know. US is they're not too bad, but yeah,
Nick
I don't
said
know.
it best. They look like football jerseys, like European soccer.
Yeah, I could see that.
The American jerseys look almost identical to what you would see in like FIFA.
Yeah.
They look like shit. They look like complete garbage.
At least like when I look at like the Canadian jersey, I see that and I'm like, that's a hockey jersey.
Yeah.
I don't look at it and think of another sport. I look at it and think of hockey. But when I look at this USA jersey, I think of soccer, I feel like I'd see somebody wearing this out on the course playing golf.
Yeah,
I
I can see that. You want to talk about bad jerseys? Nashville Predators Stadium Series.
Oh my god, Nick, did you see these jerseys?
No, I
The
haven't.
Nashville Predators Stadium jerseys are absolutely
Oh
awful.
my god. Yes, okay,
The
yeah,
smash
that's what you said.
Holy!
That is the stupidest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. I know, Taylor, you don't like the Bolts ones, the Bolts Stadium jerseys.
Listen, they're a lot better than the Nashville. The Nashville takes the cake for the worst jerseys I've ever seen, ever.
I don't understand.
I think you are right. I think it is the worst jersey of all time.
Yeah, it has to be.
There is nothing else worse than that.
I don't understand.
I don't know.
Their last jersey as well was awful. I don't know if you remember the Predators' last outdoor games jersey, but it was also awful.
Was it white?
No, it was yellow and it had like cursive writing that said Predators across the front. It just looked awful.
I like the ones where fuck, I don't remember when they wore these. There was white. I don't know. They had what? Yeah, there you go. The 2020 Winter Classic ones. Those were sick. It's like all white, and then it says Nashville Predators in the middle, big stripe across. I don't know. You guys will look it up.
I remember.
You'll see that.
I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no! You know what? I was thinking.
Those.
It was that that Stadium Series, but it was the other team. It was the Dallas Stars. That had like the D in the middle. It was the Dallas Stars. It looked awful.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't understand what is going on right now in the NHL and just in hockey in general, where these jerseys are getting designed and they look just awful.
Well, like the Nashville just doesn't make sense to me. Like like why is that writing so goddamn big? Like I don't know. I don't know. I think it's so bad. It's just plain and simple. It's so bad.
This shit. This Dallas Stars jersey is disgusting. With these brown gloves, it's a joke.
Yeah, it is pretty bad.
And like I understand how you can like the neon green jerseys, Nick, because like there is a part of me that's like, you know what, I kind of like these.
But
at the
those.
same time, I feel like it's too bright. I feel like if you turn the lights off in the stadium, that they would just glow in the dark. I feel like we're already underneath a black light when I look at these jerseys, and they're really pushing them at home games right now. And I know a lot of Dallas fans did not like them when they first came out.
Yeah, I don't know why. I do actually really like the jerseys. I think they have I think the only reason why I like them is because they're so much more different than everything else.
Yeah.
And that might be the reason why I like the Tampa Bay alternate jerseys also, like the black and like the gray mist that comes up.
I want
yeah.
I want one of those jerseys so bad.
Which is, by the way, the best jersey in the entire league. The alternate jersey for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Whoa, another hot take here.
Yeah. There's no chance in hell that there's another jersey that's better than that jersey.
I'll get that jersey and I'll put Matthews' name on the back.
Don't do that. That might come to fruition. Who knows? Maybe everyone decides to take a pay cut. Next thing you know, he's playing on the Tampa Bay Lightning with fucking Stamkos.
Braden Point.
And Braden Point, yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the sad part is, right, you know, we were talking about, now this is the second time we've talked about the Olympics and stuff. I'm probably not even going to watch it. I'm probably not going to watch any of it, which is sad. But
well, isn't it like at like 2 in the morning?
China, so it's going to be like
yeah. Well, not even that. If it was outside my door, I'd be walking right by. I don't care. I don't think.
Wow.
I don't think there's a reason. All that's gonna do is just put a halt on the NHL season, and I don't really care much for that. I don't know. I never really cared much about the Olympics. I stopped giving a shit about them maybe a couple of years ago, in like 2014, their last one, and I was like, hey, what the fuck am I watching this for? It doesn't really matter. It just feels like super teams facing off against other super teams, and for me, I don't know. It didn't really make much sense. I don't mind watching it for, like, you know, I like watching those people go down really fast in those tubes. But
The
I think
luge?
it's hilarious. Yeah, the luge. I think it's hilarious. But other than that, I don't give a shit too
I
much
love
for
the
race.
Olympics. Love it. I'm all for
I
it. I'll watch
I
anything.
I know I like the Olympics, but I'm saying I don't like hockey in the Olympics.
Oh, hockey's so good.
I think it's kind of a pointless thing. I don't think it's a I don't think it's a I don't think it's a necessity in the Olympics. And all the players, whining that they couldn't fucking play. I'm just like, you know what? The fuck does it matter anyway? You're already making two to $11.5 million anyways. If you're lucky, 12. So it's kind of like, what the fuck you want to do? You want to? I mean, yeah, sure, you want to go play for your country, but the only reason why you want to do that is because it's happened before. If there was no more Olympics, I don't think anyone would really give a shit. I don't know. Maybe that's just my own thing. And I'm specifically talking about hockey in the Olympics, not Olympics in general, which I like because it gives. I'm never gonna watch fucking curling, and I think that's fucking hilarious how there's so much hype over curling, and you're shaking the broom as fast as fucking possible to hit another brick. I think that's hilarious. But yeah, in terms of like the hockey and whatnot, like you got two options really. Who's gonna win? Oh, Canada or the States? Oh, I didn't guess that one. Like I don't know. It's
Russia
to me
makes a surprise appearance.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a pointless gimmick at this point. Like I said, if it was just outside my door, I'd be walking right by it, telling them to keep their voices down because I'm sleeping or something. It's not a big thing for me. I don't know. I honestly, I liked how the NHL did the
The World Cup of hockey.
yeah, the World Cup of hockey. I liked how that happened, but that's just because I liked seeing their version of it. Do I want to see it again? No. Uh, will I cry about it if I ever see it again? No. And that's just my thing. I don't know. But yeah.
You guys got anything else?
I got nothing.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, nice.
Roethlisberger says this is going to be his last season, which is perfect because if he gets hit, it takes him 30 years to get back up. You're 40 years old. You're 40 years old. Okay, I'm all for vets wanting to continue to play the game, but when you're 40 years old and it takes you an entire recovery to get back up, you should not be in the fucking league anymore. That is half the reason why
The Steelers are where they are.
Yeah, the Steelers are where they are. Throwing horrible fucking passes. Like, okay, buddy, we get it. Like, you were in the league before you were whatever. I feel like he's ruined his reputation now playing these last, I would say, 3 years. Hot take. He should have quit while he was ahead, I feel. Look at Brett Favre. See what happened to him? He should be your leading example there. Buffalo Bills face off tonight against the Patriots with apparently 30-mile-per-hour winds.
And snow.
That's going to be interesting.
Snow. Yeah, I would. If you guys don't watch the games, if you guys don't watch football, whether you're a listener or whether you're my co-hosts, tonight would be a good game to watch. Two really good teams. You got Mack Jones' New England Patriots facing off against Josh Allen's Buffalo Bills. It is going to be a hell of a night. Tonight's going to be a really good night. Both teams are playing really, really well. I could sit here and talk about the downfalls and the upsides to both teams for hours, but I'm not going to do that. One other thing, we don't ever really talk about it. It's not a thing I'll probably ever bring up ever again because mostly I think baseball is arguably the most boring sport ever created in the history of mankind, and that's talking about cricket and everything else. I don't
golf.
I'd rather play golf and watch it than to watch a single moment of baseball. But Right now, fans are in an uproar because apparently you guys are staring down the barrel of a lockout, which is not a fun thing, not a fun situation. And apparently this could lead into the 2022 season. I know if this was happening in the NFL, I'd probably be pissed. So I can understand why fans would be upset. I mean, when the NHL faced their 2 lockouts, it was horrible and I was barely a fan. NFL faced a lockout in 2011 and that was fucking dreadful for me. Will it bother me that MLB is going into a lockout? Absolutely not. But I do offer my sympathy to the MLB fans, to the people that are diehard baseball fans. I know there's a lot of you. It's just not my thing. I don't follow it at all. I know one person, and I don't even know what his name is. I just know what his face looks like. So that is how much I know about baseball. I know you guys have, stats for how many times you lift your foot. So that's cool. So, I mean, maybe this is a great time for all you baseball fans to come watch some football, come watch some hockey. Fuck, even get into a new sport for next year because we have one more race for Formula 1. You can watch Formula 1 next year. It'll be so much better to watch. It'll be so much more entertaining. Which, by the way, really quick, right now Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton are tied for first. So it's literally coming down to the line.
Down to the wire.
Yeah.
Last race of the season.
Yeah, going to be an intense drive. And also, too, for next year, you got George Russell joining into the Mercedes drive. Bottas leaving, going to Alfa Romeo. Another driver is coming from somewhere for Alfa Romeo. I'm sure he's probably been announced, but I don't know who it is. Yeah, I mean, you have so many more other sports. That also goes for other people, too, that, just want to watch hockey or just want to watch football or just want to watch Formula 1 or baseball. Dive into a little bit more things. It'll definitely open up more conversation, which is part of the reason why I wanted to start this podcast in general. I don't watch hockey nearly as much as I watch football, and I'm pretty sure it's evident within the people that do listen to this that I also don't know as much about hockey as I do about football, which is something I want to do, which is something I want to learn more of, which is why I got, Taylor and Tyler, Taylor and Tyler here about, really good,
You're
really
so
good at
right now.
really good at they're really knowledgeable in the sport of hockey, and I knew that it would be a really great fit, but we are coming to an end. The Buffalo Bills versus the New England Patriot game is going to be starting here in a little bit, and I'm not missing that for the life of me. So, keep your head up and stick on the ice. See ya.